I want you to reflect on how our guest stories resonate with your own experiences, resonate with your own aspirations. Because some people may say, it's not about me. I want to learn more about the profession. And that's the purpose of me having this. So I've grouped these episodes together to allow you to explore just the themes just a touch more deeply. Whether you're an educator, a caregiver, a healthcare professional, someone who's just a health enthusiast, someone who loves working in the community for health, I want you to learn something from our guests. I want you to go ahead and also get your cold pressed juice as we dive into the wisdom that was shared in our season 1 guests. And I want you to continue to explore this journey of self-discovery, growth as we work this together. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today for this particular podcast episode. As I explained to you, it is a touch different because I'm giving you some explanation as to how you can look and be more involved into the episodes. And you're listening to Cold Press Conversations with Dr. Jewel White Williams, a lover of numbers, lists, and a good glass of cold pressed juice, who is sharing episodes each week to help you explore the back end of healthcare and health sciences. Where a lot of that grit is done, we'll dive into topics covering research, education, and clinical practices, as well as guest shows with other leaders in the field. Pull up a seat and let's dive into these amazing and game-changing conversations. Well, hello and welcome. We are at the conclusion of season 1, y'all. I can't believe this. Season 1 is coming to a close, and I thought, what better way than to come to you in regards to season 1? And I want to make it very interactive. I'm elated because we're going to have an excellent week, and I'm going to explain why. This episode is about learning more and becoming more involved in understanding season 1 and how you can learn in the process as well. And it's going to give you some excitement. Trust me. I'm Dr. Jewel. I'm just thrilled to reintroduce to you the incredible guests that I had the honor of speaking with throughout season 1. I had some incredible guests in season 1. And I just want to kind of do a recap and get you involved in listening to the podcast and learn how you can be more participatory in the podcast and learn more. So before I go any further, you're probably like, who was in season 1? I'm going to give you the people in a group form. So for emergency medical service leaders, I had Michael Caduce in episode 1 and Alex Astay in episode 15. In regards to community health practitioners, I had Dr. April Ruffin, Dr. Kimberly Robinson, and Dr. Rachel Silver. And physical therapists, I interviewed and had an exceptional time with Sylvain Mancuso and David Jeter. Okay. Functional medicine and integrative medicine, I had Dr. David Billstrom, Dr. Cindy Stark, and Dr. Sheila Carroll. And medical professionals who focused on a multitude of things, caregiving, clinical trials, and therapy. For actors, and they were all 3 authors, Cheryl Field, Dr. Fitzroy Dawkins, and Elma Canefield, who is a licensed clinical social worker. And that was my season for season 1. And you will learn more about them as I go through this. And we're going to just make it a fun week. Yes, you heard me. I am talking about a week, and I do want to discuss with you season 1 and how you can be participatory in this. And this season was filled with rich conversations, diverse perspectives in health, wellness, and community well-being. And having these extraordinary individuals through all walks of life Each one, regardless of their unique experiences, brought insights to the table, to the platform of Cold Press Conversations, where we have them who amplify their voices of being medical and health science professionals to you who are community individuals, community health leaders, people who are probably entrepreneurs or who are working at churches. It helps everybody collectively. We're talking about the community. And they shared their personal stories as to what inspired them to where they are and why they, with their challenges, allowed us to think deeper about what it meant to live holistically through their work. Yes, they gave us some rich information. I just want to say thank you. Before I go any further, I would like to thank every last individual who I had an interview with. I want to say thank you so much. Cold Press Conversations could not be without the interviewers that I had, the interviewees that I had, and it could not have been without you, with your feedback, with your engagement, and helping me just shape this podcast, Cold Press Conversations. So as we look back on these episodes, you will notice that there are some similarities and some differences in our guests and their approach to wellness. And I just expressed to you, and they also provided some literacy to us as to what exactly certain terms meant. Health literacy. There is also and there is mathematical literacy that goes along with it that can actually happen as well. But and some of the physicians that were on did talk some numbers, and that's part of the health literacy portion of it. And we won't go as deep into it, but hopefully I can maybe give you a sample lesson as to how all of this impacts you in your everyday living. You know, they had a very common goal, all of them. They wanted to make an impact on their community. They wanted to help us understand the nuances of a holistic health. They wanted us to understand their impact of what they're doing and why it matters, because it helps us live and be our wholesome selves. And they also wanted to go a step further in allowing us to understand how we can be more participatory in our own lives for our own well-being. So I have my little card here because I don't want to forget exactly how the week will go. And as I stated, I will give you just a little hint as to what goes on. This is going to be the full episode of telling you how it will all be, how you can be impacted in this overview and the recap, and understand the highlight moments and how you can expect what this week is going to involve. And it will also give you an idea of what to expect each day, what will be posted, and what you can expect of how you can be participatory in this process as well. All right. So before I go any further, I just want to give just a quick recap on, like I stated, some of the themes that actually happened, the goals that they wanted to give, and how we have taken this journey together. Maybe looking at some of the significant changes and developments that actually occurred as I was giving this podcast, and the format, how it changed a little bit. And I hope that I can change even the newsletter just a touch when we go into season 2, so that I can really reach you. But the only way I can really reach you is if I hear from you and understand some of the things that you're looking for, so that you can have your health and health wellness goals as well. So before I go any further, I do want to let you know the themes that I noticed were, like I stated, community health practices, emergency medical services, research, functional and integrative health combined with conventional medicine, physical therapy, clinical trials, caregiving. We talked about public health, community health. I mean, I can go on and on. I'm telling you that. Let me talk about maybe some highlights that. Here we go. The first one that stands out more than anything, and I think we need to understand this, and it's not sticking up, which is a good thing. That means I'm hydrated. She stated that we are skin, that we are just a layer of skin with our bones that are there. And that was Dr. Cindy Stark. She wanted us to understand who we were and how we imagine ourselves. I thought that was just enlightening. That was one thing that stood out. Understanding lead with Dr. Kimberly Robinson stood out for me on that. Motivational interviewing, Dr. Ruffin. I'm going off the cuff, y'all, so just work with me. Research and showing that our EMS community, as we teach, yes, but as we're in the community, how we all collectively, when we work together, talking about fire services, nursing, and everyone else, collectively work hand in hand, we actually meet the needs of our community as service providers. And that was Michael Caduce. Alex Estee focused. One thing that stood out for me for him was when he talked about Texas and the Astros event and how he navigated that. That is astounding. Functional medicine, dealing with Dr. David Billstrom. Oh my gosh, where can I start? He made me think about our vitamin D levels. Then he talked about magnesium. He talked about the nature. I can go on for him. Dr. Sheila Carroll discussed obesity, especially in the pediatric patient. I'm hoping I'm going through people that I can think of quickly. Moments that made me think. Dr. Rachel Silver, she focused on alignment, even though she's a chiropractor, but she also is helping people with alignment with their entrepreneurial goals. Sylvain Mancuso, he the way he works with his clientele, where there is a follow-up process. It's not just a follow-up process where they're doing and focusing on manipulative therapy, which is physical therapy, but there's a follow-up process that goes along with it, along with David Jeter, who did the same thing. They were almost in alignment, same hand in hand. One who's in Canada and one who's in North America, which was pretty interesting. The others, Miss Field, caregiving. How can we forget that? Aging adult. I think everyone, regardless of whatever age they are, can learn from that, because you could be a caregiver, you could be the one who's being cared for, or you can be the one who's looking at who's being cared for. Clinical trials in the African American community with Dr. Fitzroy Dawkins stood out a lot to me. His book was so easy to read, y'all. If you want to understand clinical trials. Okay. And we'll go into that. Miss Elma Canefield, she was a blessing to have, because at the time there was something critical in the news in regards to actors and their mindset, their mental health, and the way she focused on the mental health of those who are actors. She took it from a whole nother level. So those are some, I wanted to give one key thing for each person, because I think that's important. So at least you know that. I get myself infused when listening to these individuals during their interviews, because I really and truly want to make an impact on you as you're listening to it. And so these are some of the memorable key points from these guests that I had were very impactful in my life and made turning points for me, as well as hopefully for you in this podcast. But the tease that I'm going to give to you is that what you can expect as listeners for this review this week. My goal is to look at the key episodes, and we're going to listen to your listener reflections, behind the scenes kind of thing. Like, tell me what you gathered from it. You'll have engagement opportunities where you can participate in a review. I'm going to go live, and I want you to participate. What I may do is give a poll or a survey where you can participate into giving me a reflection of maybe your favorite episode, why it was meaningful to you. So you'll have a poll throughout the week. And then I'm going to invite you to rewatch season 1 episodes and reflect on them with a very fresh perspective, where you'll revisit these episodes, and we may have the opportunity to revisit them together and view new insights and reflections on it. So I encourage you to note that any of these episodes that really and truly make a significant impact on you, that you, during this review series, I want you to tell me. And that's where that listener involvement of polls and surveys comes in, where you can tell me which one is your favorite episode. Tell me exactly the moment or what guest gave you that moment of saying, yes, I'm super engaged. And it's not saying that one interview was better than the other. We are individuals. What may be interesting to me in a specific podcast interview may not be the same for someone else, because my need may have been met already by that particular interviewee or the person who is being interviewed. I want you to just find a way that you can drive your engagement and be active in it by just interacting in a social media way of using a specific hashtag that I'll have for you during this series. And that mention, I'm going to mention maybe some of the comments that people may make, or if you feel like some of their stories were just, oh my gosh, that story resonated with me. And out of the guests that I had, their information resonated with me from a personal level. Some were from an educational level, and some from a professional level. And that may happen to you as well. So I want you to keep that in mind, that this is a process for you and me as we go through this, so that we can learn more about ourselves and ensure that we are focusing on our well-being. We're focusing on who we are, and we want to be the best that we can be. And that's the reason why I have these episodes. So let me get to something else. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Y'all ready? I want to outline how you can make the most of this week. It'd be one. Today is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll be 6 episodes, including today. I want you to do 4 things. First one, I want you to write. Like, keep a journal. Write down some key takeaways, some personal reflections, some questions that may arise. Because if any of this happens, then it will allow you to deepen your understanding, allow you to revisit your thoughts later. And if there's a really big question you have, then you can ask me and I can contact, or at least we could put it out there and tag that particular person who was interviewed. I want you to find a quiet place or a place where you can listen to that one key episode that you really and truly like and have a desire to listen to. You could be jogging, riding a bike, listening in your car, walking. The guest stories themselves and their information in regards to your health can fully be a way to immerse yourself into practical advice that will help you gain a deeper level of your own health and wellness. Now, if you haven't downloaded my workbook, I have a workbook that you can get from my website. All right. And it will help you throughout this whole process. You can get it on both websites, the actual www.coldpressedconversations.com. And I have a link for you where you can get it. It's right there. You pop it up, or you can go at jwhitewilliams.com. And that's jwhite, WHITE, Williams.com. And then you can get there. And that gives you an opportunity to download the workbook. It's for the podcast listener so that you can listen to it, and it's designed to help you through an episode. Now, if you want to go even deeper, I do have a platform where you can go online and get it, something which I will offer to you in just a few moments, where it goes even deeper. And I make every single workbook specifically from what I learned to hopefully help you learn from the guests. Yes, I broke it down. I literally listened to the episode. I said, if I were to teach what they taught to help the community member understand, I'm going to break it down for that person so that they can understand it. and they can learn from it because it's so in depth. And then I made it into more. It's kind of like somebody who has a book and you're a professor. So it's like they have their work. I was like the professor breaking that baby down and making it more applicable to who you are. And I have that for you. So it's a workbook that relates to you based off of that topic, not necessarily that person, but the topic. And I can recommend it for you, and I'll put that in a link. Now, the fourth thing that I do have is I want you to find one episode out of this week that aligns with your desire to learn more about yourself from a health and wellness standpoint. I want you to think right now. I want you to take a deep breath, exhale, and I would like for you to really think about, are you seeking personal or professional enhancement of learning about health and wellness? You can ask yourself, am I trying to inspire community health initiatives? Am I focusing on guiding someone with caregiving? Or pretty much I'm just trying to figure a way out to balance my wellness with my busy career, because I have someone for every one of those things. Just browse the blog that I have on coldpressconversations.com. And I have the blogs and they give little summaries and select one that you feel may align with you. And then that way I invite you to engage in that particular episode so that you can kind of let it guide you throughout. So I'm going to give you something to kind of get you started. Here we go. Before I close everything out. So one thing I want to give to you, I told you this podcast, this for today is a little different. If you want to learn about a community health practices and practitioners, it will be coming out on Thursday. On Friday, we will discuss, it will be having our focus on emergency medical service leaders. On Saturday, we will be focusing on functional and integrative medicine. On Sunday, I hope I said that right. So on Sunday, physical therapists. And Monday, we are going to just focus on not just the authors themselves, but we're talking about the topics themselves, caregiving, clinical trials, and mental health. All those are together. They are all authors as well, and we can kind of infuse it all together. So Thursday is community health practitioners and practices, Friday EMS, Saturday functional medicine, physical therapists on Sunday, and authors. And pretty much when I say authors, I'm talking about people who focused on reaching out to the community from the written word on caregiving, clinical trials, and mental health will be on Monday. And even though we just had a week on authors, I'm going to be taking it from a different perspective. All right. So like I said, there's going to be multiple things that are going to be happening. So I will be giving you more information throughout each day. And I want you to know that I am encouraging you to please revisit all these episodes when I pop them out. Take one, because sometimes there are three that we're shining on. I want you to reflect on how our guest stories resonate with your own experiences, resonate with your own aspirations. Because some people may say, it's not about me. I want to learn more about the profession. And that's the purpose of me having this. So I've grouped these episodes together to allow you to explore just the themes just a touch more deeply. Whether you're an educator, a caregiver, a healthcare professional, someone who's just a health enthusiast, someone who loves working in the community for health, I want you to learn something from our guests. I want you to go ahead and also get your cold press juice as we dive into the wisdom that was shared in our season 1 guests. And I want you to continue to explore this journey of self-discovery, growth as we work this together. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today for this particular podcast episode. As I explained to you, it is a touch different because I'm giving you some explanation as to how you can look and be more involved into the episodes. And more information is going to come out. It's going to be amazing. It really is. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I told you this episode is just a touch different. I'm just elated that we're going to review season 1. And then after that, y'all, I got so much to give you in regards to season 2. I am elated for season 2 coming out. We will continue on with the episode numbers, but no matter what, we're going to go into it a little bit more in depth. The episodes that are coming out for season 2, they're going to just take your breath away. Well, no, we don't want to talk about that. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I want to say it is to your health and to your cognitive happiness, because that's what we're going to be focusing on, making our brains just so happy because we're going to be learning. And I thank you so much. May each and every one of you have a wonderful day. And this is Dr. Jewel with Cold Press Conversations. Thank you very much. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cold Press Conversations. If you love this episode as much as I did, I need you to head on over and subscribe so you never miss an episode. This is Dr. Jewel signing off to health and cognitive happiness.